Hi, my name is Vanessa and my matrix number is MS241031684. Stress has become one of the most common psychological issues affecting students in today's educational environment. In psychology, stress is defined as a mental and emotional state that occurs when individuals perceive that their demands placed on them exceed their ability to cope. It involves both psychological and sociological reactions. Academic demands, examination, and social pressure often lead to high stress levels that can significantly impact students' cognitive function, particularly learning and memory. From psychological perspective, stress activates the body fight or flight response, releasing hormones such as cortisol that interfere with the brain's ability to process, store, and retrieve information effectively. Psychologists view stress as a factor that can either motivate or harm depending on its intensity and duration. Understanding how stress affects learning and memory is crucial for educators, as it highlights the importance of creating supportive learning environments that promote emotional well-being and cognitive performance. This issue is highly relevant to the psychology of teaching and learning because managing student stress is essential for optimizing attention, motivation, and long-term academic success.
Do you know what type of stress that affects on student learning and memories? First of all, my name is Jocelyn binti Donius and my matrix number is MS241031669. So there are 6 types of stress that affects on student learning and memories according to the psychological analysis. The first one is acute stress that happens on a short term and triggered by immediate challenges. For example, of situation when the teacher conduct a task without noticing or reminding the students a day before. So it really stresses out the students because they didn't make any revisions or preparations before the task, right? The second type of stress is the chronic stress. The chronic stress is the opposite of acute stress because it happens on the long term and goes on through ongoing pressures. For example, when the students have an health issues like insomnia, so the students could not sleep well at night, right? So in the morning when the teachers is teaching inside the classroom, it really disturbed the students to not pay full attention and focus because the student could not get enough sleep at night, so they will feel really sleepy in the school, right? The third one is the academic stress. The academic stress is happening because there's high expectation comes from their own parents or the teachers. Like when the parents or teachers set out standards that the students need to pursue. Like the students must achieve an A plus for every subject. So it does really stress out the students too. The academic stress might happen because of competitive environment too, which may comes from their own parents comparing them with their own family members or their peers. Like when their peers or their own family members get a higher grades from what they could get, it really stresses out the student to get better from them, or like it could get the student to feel low motivations because some student might feel not confident and might insecure, so it really not motivated some students too. The academic stress could cause because of unclear instructions from the teacher too. This could happen when the teacher did not give a clear explanation when they giving out a task, like when the teachers give out a homework for the students, then the students want to do, but since the student didn't pay full attention or could not understand the explanation, so it could really affect on student learning progress as well to do the homework. And the fourth one is the social and emotional stress that happen because the students get pressure from other people or through unhealthy relationships. For example, of situations when the students are in a fight or have a misunderstanding or problem with their own best friend, So when the teachers is teaching inside the classroom, the students might not pay full attention because the students wanted to focus on to solve the problems between her friends rather than focus on the learning progress. The fifth one is the environmental stress that might happen because the noises. This could happen when the student is at home or at school or everywhere, like when they want to study, but the surroundings is really noisy, like because of the party, or some people is talking with big voices, like higher voices, so it really stresses out them too. And the environmental stress could happen because of uncomfortable facilities or unsecure environment. Like, for an example, when the student in a classroom and they are studying, but this classroom don't have enough lights and don't have enough oxygens that for them to breathe comfortably, so it really affects them to study and to smoothen the learning progress too, right? And the last type of stress is the performance or perfectionism stress, which happen because of the individual's fears or unrealistic self-imposed standards. This type of stress could happen because of the individual or the students itself. Like, they want to be perfect in everything they want to pursue, like through any subjects that they wanted to do, they need to get this type of grades, so it does really stress them out too. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shafira Hazwani binti Hasirun. My matrix number is MS241031655. I will present my part, which is psychological cognitive analysis of stress and its effects on student learning and memory. There are several cognitive psychological analysis of stress and its effects on student learning and memory. The first is the effects of stress and cognitive process. Stress has a major impact on student ability to focus. When under stress, student mind tend to shift to sources of stress such as anxiety about exam, family problem, or a large workload. This situation prevents students from fully focusing on the learning materials. As a result, students have difficulty following the teacher's explanations, lose focus easily, and often make small mistakes in assignment. This inability to maintain attention is an initial obstacle that affects the entire learning process. Not only that, the effects of stress on cognitive process are also increases cognitive load. The stress faced by student can increase the cognitive load of student. In cognitive psychology, working memory has a limited capacity. When students are under stress, most of this capacity is filled with negative emotions such as fear, worry, and panic. This makes it difficult for students to process new information effectively. For example, in a class that requires understanding complex concepts, students may fail to connect all information with new information because working memory is overloaded. This situation causes students to quickly feel confused and lose confidence. The second is the effect of stress on memory, which is encoding. Stress also interferes with the process of entering information into long-term memory. When students are stressed, the hormone cortisol that's increased interferes with the encoding process. This makes it difficult for students to retain new information even if they study for a long period of time. For example, students may read notes many times but still fail to understand or remember important content because the brain does not record information correctly when under stress. Next is retrieval disorder. In addition to making the process of storing information difficult, stress also prevents recall. Common phenomena such as blank during exam occur because high stress prevents students from accessing stored information. Even though students actually know the answer, they have difficulty retrieving the information because stress provides cognitive barriers. This can also affect academic performance even if they have studied hard. The last is the effects on education, which is declining academic performance. The effect of stress on attention and memory cause a direct decline in academic achievement, students will often experience stress, show inconsistent understanding, difficulty answering exam questions, and fluctuating performance. They need more time to understand a concept and often fail to reach their true potential in exam and assignment. Next is the deteriorating motivations and engagement in learning. In addition to performance, student motivation also decline when they are constantly under stress. When they find that their learning efforts are not producing good results due to cognitive impairment, they begin to lose interest in learning. This situation can lead to low class attendance, lack of engagement during discussions, and so on. Indirectly, this creates a negative cycle when stress produces low performance and low performance in turn increase stress. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello and good day to everyone. My name is Sunimi Jasmine and my matrix number is MS241031653. For my part, I want to talk about behavioral effects of stress in students. So without further ado, we get into it. So stress is a common experiences among students, and while we often focus on its emotional or academic consequences, it is equally important to understand how stress influences behavior. So in this presentation, I will explain 4 key behavioral effects of stress in students. First, avoidance behavior, procrastination, social withdrawal, and a decline in personal organization. First, behavioral effects is avoidance behavior. When students feel overwhelmed, they may try to escape or avoid situations that trigger their stress. So this can be seen when students delay starting assignment, even simple ones, because the task feels too heavy to begin. Some may also skip classes, especially those they find difficult or intimidating. Additionally, they might ignore messages from teachers because they fear criticism or feel guilty for falling behind. This behavior is not due to laziness. Rather, it is a coping mechanism. Avoidance gives temporary relief, but unfortunately, it often leads to more stress later when deadlines approach or missing work accumulates. Next, the second behavioral effect is procrastination. So which is closely related to avoidance but involves delaying tasks rather than avoiding them completely. So stressed students may complete homework at the last minute, rushing through assignment without paper focus. They may also engage in distractions such as scrolling on social media, watching videos, or playing games as a way to escape from the pressure. This provides short-term comfort but result in lower quality work and increased anxiety as deadlines get closer. Procrastination creates a cycle. The more they delay, the more stressed they become, and the harder it is to start the task. The third behavioral effect is social withdrawal. When students experience stress, they may begin to spend more time alone. So they might avoid friends, group activities, or even family interactions. Some may prefer silence or isolation because they feel drained or emotionally overloaded. A key sign of social withdrawal is when students do not want to share their feeling or talk about what they are going through. Although this withdrawal may help them conserve emotional energy, it also reduces the support they could receive from peers and adults. So over time, this isolation can worsen stress and affect their overall well-being. And the final behavioral effect is decline in personal organization. Stress affects concentration, decision making, and memory. Because of this, stressed students often become forgetful about deadlines, messy or disorganized, and struggle with managing their time effectively. They may lose track of school materials, overlook instructions, or underestimate how much time a task requires. So this decline in organization is not intentional. It happens because the mind is preoccupied with interests, making it difficult to maintain structure in daily routines. So in conclusion, stress affects students in many behavioral ways through avoidance behavior, procrastination, social withdrawal, and reduced organizational skills. These signs are important indicators that a student may need support, understanding, and proper stress management strategies. By recognizing these behavioral changes early, teachers, parents, and even the student themselves can take steps to reduce stress and create a healthier learning environment. So that's all from me. Thank you.
There are 6 practical recommendations for the students on learning and memory in order to help them avoid stress. The first recommendation is that students must get enough sleeps. By this recommendation, students must avoid all-night study sessions. They can study just for 5 hours and take regular breaks in between the study sessions, like 5 to 10 minutes. Next, they can experiment on their study style. This means they can try every study style and know which style they prefer while studying. This includes note-taking, remembering, or repetition and listening. There are 3 types of study style: visual like colorful notes, auditory like listening to instrumental music, and kinesthetic, which is learned by doing. The third method for the students is managing their time. By managing their time, they can have punctuality when they master this. For example, they can make a study schedule that includes 2 subjects per day. When they have more extra times, they can try to answer past exams in order to enhance their memories. In addition, students must tidy their workspace. The reason is to make them study comfortably because there are more space for them to learn or take notes. Therefore, they can have more energy to study because there will be no distractions during the study. Other than that, they can take exercise like short walk around their neighborhoods. When taking a short break from studying, their mind will be more calmer and relaxed after a long study. Hence, it also can help change their outlook. Lastly, they can also try to study with friends. This is because it can help them on a difficult topic and exchange notes. When exchanging notes, they can memorize and understand better because of the action that were given by their friends. At the same time, they can have fun while studying. Thank you. That's all.
In summary, emotional intelligence plays an important role in students' academic and personal success. When students can manage emotions, build positive relationships, and stay motivated, they learn more effectively. Teachers can support this by creating a caring classroom environment and using strategies that build emotional and social skills. By strengthening emotional intelligence, we help students become more confident, resilient, and prepared for lifelong learning.